We start today as the caravan makes its way up the large eroded switchbacks, also guided by a loose rope. Several horses, carriages, and also people in tow as the party makes their way up Blue Falls. Up ahead, there are large rock faces with a scattering of civilization and houses above on the rocks. There's a large gushing waterfall that somehow pools and overflows from the top of this large plateau. Feathering out of the top are bouquets of wind sails that spin in different directions, made of this silvery, gossamer, iridescent material. There are old pulleys that seem to hoist different materials and things up to the summit. But as you all start to as you all start to make your way up towards this eroded switchback, you hear a voice in the distance.
You! Who is that?
Off we go, Varsha.
I'm talking to you.
You see up ahead a large, bald, gray-skinned creature. You do recognize them to be maybe some sort of goliath. Their features are elongated as they seem to be stretched from a normal type or average type of human size, around 6 feet or so, up to that 7-foot, 7.5-foot stance. You also see just now a fluttering of wings of landing on next to him, and on his shoulder is this large owl that seems to have different. The patterning looks to be very close to the textures of the cliff sides and rocks that are here. Its eyes are a deep green as it lands and the head starts to look around. And there's still this Goliath looking toward you, expecting some sort of answer. He's hanging over one of the rope pulleys, very confident that he won't slip.
What brings you to Blue Falls?
We're actually heading, is it westward? Eastward?
Eastward?
Yeah. We're actually passing through. Hopefully. If that's all right.
You bring trade?
Yes. I mean, hopefully. I think we have fish, right?
Yeah, you have fish, and also several skins of the basilisk hide.
Yeah, yeah. Then I will say, yes, a little bit of fish and basilisk skin, but that is not our main purpose. So we're just passing through. But if that's sufficient.
Fine. Come on then.
Great, thank you. I'll just wave everybody in.
Mm-hmm. And as you do, the caravan starts to creak and wheel its way. The horses are tired now, and I think there are some of the Eftoki orcs are starting to then pull some of these carriages and push them up the switchbacks as well toward this Goliath. The Goliath does greet you at some point as he just waits for you to approach.
I am head of watch here. Euro.
Euro?
Euro. U-R-U-E. Euro. You?
Varsha.
You bring a lot of people.
Yeah, again, we're all passing through together.
All right. You taking the tunnels, or are you heading on land.
And as he says that, he sort of gestures towards that large crack at the foot of this large cliffside, indicated underneath the side of this waterfall.
I don't think we had exactly decided yet, but we're open to advice.
Well, if you're open to advice, I would say be very careful if you're going into the dark. It's quite treacherous. But if you go east any farther, you may also run into the kingdom, which could be even worse, depending how east you're going.
Right.
Miss Vashat,
Yeah.
do you know if the kingdom has control of Dane's Rest or not? I think from the map that we had from before, Dane's Rest is down the river. If we can leave the estuary from there, we can go back to the sea, to the south side. Maybe we can get to the island faster that way. Unless you wanted to go to Pendulum first?
I think that was the plan.
Yeah.
To Pendulum first.
Yeah.
Okay.
We most certainly have to warn them, if nothing else.
Right.
Ooh.
I see you're marked.
Mine's burned now, right?
You still have.
I still have it,
you
but
still
it's
have
like,
it, but
it's
there
very
is-
clear that I am
there
outcast,
is some
right?
scarring. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I just look at him and nod. Used to be.
I'm also not disguised, just so you're aware.
You will be welcome here. The twin shields will possibly find favor in acquaintances. Come on.
Thank you.
Starts to wave people through. You also start to see more of these humanoids start to emerge from and slide down some of these ropes, much like in Neverland or in like Hook or something like that, where these Lost Boys would start to slide down and rappel and find perch in different places and look at you. Some with hand crossbows, some with nets and grappling hooks that sort of dangle by their sides as they sort of just watch and peer. And you do start to see that their leathers and what they're wearing is sort of uniform. Their harnesses that they have do seem to be uniform, and they do match what Yuru is wearing, which does sort of indicate that it is possibly some sort of they are some sort of team that works together, either to as scouts or as some sort of guard here. But they sort of watch as you approach. There are a couple of grunts in Orcish and chatter in Orcish between both Yuru and some of these Aftoki as you make your way up toward past the falls and up toward the Blue Falls city proper. You do, as you are greeted, or as you crest over into this the summit of this plateau, you do see a large bubbling pool of flowing water. It does look like it's cresting sort of in the middle, like water up flowing water would look, as it sort of bubbles and undulates towards the cliffside and pours downward. There is a large building that looks like to be a large circle. Half of it seems to be on dry land, and the other half seems to overhang this large pool. There are several different wards and neighborhoods that sort of spring off in these different directions. And up towards the north side, there is that large wall of different these looking windmills. And as you do look over toward that way, I would like sort of a wisdom, like a group wisdom check. So choose someone to make your wisdom save or wisdom check here as you sort of look over at those.
I
It'll
would
give
do
you-
it.
It'll give you advantage.
I've only get a +1.
Varsha,
16.
as you look over, you do notice that the wind is blowing your hair toward the southeast. These windmills are facing sort of western in a different direction. They are blowing anti-windward. As you start to crest and make your way up and over into this this city. There are various people walking around. They sort of all look at you as they do, and they see a caravan blowing in or a caravan coming in. Some do start to talk and speak with some of the Iftoki orcs. This does seem to be sort of a regular stop for them. You are carrying a bunch of, or do have a lot of refugees in tow, and they are making some sort of scene, not necessarily too big, but they are sort of ogling at the sites around. They're talking about this, whatever this technology is up on that cliffside over there, and things like that. And of course, you do start to hear some of them theorize about this pool of water. But other than that, the city is sort of at your disposal. There is a, you do see that there is a small boat sort of tied toward this, by the falls. It looks like it's been fastened for a while. The current is taking it as if it would, if the rope was untied, it would take the small boat up and over the falls. So it just sort of looks like it's been there for a while. Next to that boat seems to be a balding dwarf with, he looks like he's got a navy tabard on, as well as it's got some gold rope trim, and also a pendant. When he turns to look at you and wave for a second, you see this pendant has two kite shields that seem to be over one another, and sort of looks like sort of represents some golden heart. You did hear something about something called twin shields that Uru was talking about earlier. And he seems to be, doesn't have a fishing pole, but he's using what looks to be an old dowel, and he is throwing line out with a weight, and is sort of like waiting for fish to come up. But he looks over toward you and sort of briefly looks and sort of scans and inspects the caravan as you all sort of make your way up into this area.
I'm looking for something very specific.
Okay.
I'm looking for a tavern, or maybe a vendor that sells whiskey.
Okay. There is a tavern. As you sort of read the area and also maybe just ask around, that large building, that half of it is over the water, that is indicated as the tavern. It is known as the Upflow Inn.
Oh, that's so cool.
Give me a minute, will you? I'm going in there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So we follow.
I watch him walk away.
Yeah, we follow Brad. Brad, you make your way into the Upflow. Inside the Upflow Inn, you are greeted with, the door swings open, and there is a large pool, about, of course, half of this large semicircular. It's got some sort of a deep, it's not really much of a beach, as it does look like it's coming up from some sort of, the water, at least, is coming up from some sort of deep source. There is a bit of a ledge, but where you are, there's about half of this large circular inn has a large pool. There are several vertical and taut nets that are framed in wood that are dipped in various places throughout this pool here. The upflow from this, after what the inn is called, does seem to spew up fish every once in a while, and fish you've probably not recognized as well. Some are purple, some gills are purple flecks with large yellow fins as well. Something that looks like tropical, not much of something you would see normally here in a riverside. But their gills do sometimes flip up and catch onto some of these nets, and you see some people reach out and they grab some of these nets and swing them over, and they drip onto the ground, and they are able to unfasten and throw some of these fish into buckets, and they thud at their feet. The bar at this moment is a little on the quiet side. There is a couple of people. It's about lunchtime or so. And you see behind the bar, which also sort of goes into a kitchen type area, is a feminine presenting dwarf woman with dwarf person with they have short cropped hair, and also looks like they have some sort of scar on their face that is not unlike Varsha's, but there is no pigment or ink. And they sort of look up at you and go back to sort of washing the cups and wiping down the table, and then turning around and I think seeing them fillet pretty haphazardly one of these fish, and then throw it onto a hot surface to maybe like a large flat rock over a fire to then start to grill and to start to create some sort of food. It does smell delicious in here, as the water that is bubbling up does create this bit of a. It does create this a very wonderful bouquet of salt water, as well as the fish that is just sort of in here. So, and also, of course, the cooking food and herbs that this person is making.
I step up to the bar and just look at the dwarf.
Did that get you something?
You got Blue Falls whiskey?
Get your Blue Falls whiskey, yeah.
Hold on.
Right.
I open my pack and pull out a canteen. It's got an S scratched into it really poorly. It's old as hell looking.
Okay.
And I push it across the bar.
They take it, slide it off the leather of the canteen as they turn around, and you see them take out a squarish bottle with an old tattered cork, and then sort of fill it up. And as they do, they look at you, and I think while it's pouring, they look at you and ask, "Haven't seen you around?"
I ain't never been here before.
Know about Blue Falls whiskey?
Yeah.
You had it before?
Yeah, well, that's been empty a while, but yeah.
Right. What brings you in? She fastens the canteen and slides it over to you. Sorry,
We were just passing through. Thought I might as well fill that up.
You want a full?
Fill it up, whatever it costs.
Right. And they take the bottle and they start to fill it up to the brim. This time it like overflows. They put the cork on. It does overflow a bit as they give it to you. That'll be 13 silver.
Okay. I roll a gold and 3 silver across.
Yep. They take it. Thank you. And they start to turn and get back to cooking. You want any food?
No.
Right.
I bury the canteen in the bag and head back out. Try and find the others.
You also noticed that they do, when they did turn, is a good detail that I didn't give you, when they did turn to talk to you, you also noticed another one of those twin shield crests on their shoulder, as they just sort of give you a bit of a, not really much of a smile, but like a knowing nod as you make your way out. You head back to your friends?
Yeah. Head outside, see if they're still there or moving through or what. Catch up with them.
Okay. What do you think you all were doing in that time? maybe 10 minutes went by. 5 maybe.
I would not be far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like but it's very much like going to a new town, I suppose. But for me, it's like I've never really traveled far from home before, you know, until all of this. So I am most likely still at the entrance. You know how, I don't know if you've ever been to like a fairground before, like Disney World or something. When you go there, and maybe perhaps not yourself, but you know, children will see it and they'll look around like, what is this? What is that? You know, like it's a whole new world, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Just in awe, really.
right, almost like there's an abundance of choice and things to do. So I'm just
Right.
standing with my eyes open.
Have
just
you
standing.
been or heard of Blue Falls before? Anyone?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, we know, Ty. We know. We gathered.
Mm-hmm.
I would be probably doing the normal thing that I would do and just kind of sizing things up if a fight broke out.
You do notice, I think, as you do start sizing things up. Give me an insight just for fun. Whack.
20.
Yeah, okay. You do notice as you sort of scan the area, you do see that there are it's not entirely inconspicuous, but the people here do seem to have they seem to represent a more of an rougher edge than most of the people even in Eftoki. The people here seem to be very curious about who's in town. There also seems to be a lot of, when you pass by groups of people, they sort of stop and watch. There isn't much of like the civilian fishermen. You see a lot of like the armored civilian fishermen, or it looks like a lot of the denizens here seem to also be using this as some sort of rest stop between whatever travel they're doing or whatever adventure they have, whether it is down in the depths below or across the plains to the east, west, or north, or what have you. But this does look like it seems to be some sort of rest stop, if not some sort of attraction in itself, being for many of the reasons probably Jet is sort of looking around ogled at things. It could be this technology of whatever these gossamer things are. It could be the pooling of the upflow. It also could be whatever it is that is down below with these large statues of giants. It's hard to say, but it does seem that there's a lot of attraction in this location for a lot of the denizens. And it also looks like that it could be a meetup spot for a lot as well.
Is anybody eyeballing Varsha or myself specifically?
For the 20, yes. There are several that start to look, and you've noticed there is one person who looks at you, makes eye contact, and then turns around completely, as if they are trying to talk to their friend, and as if like they're trying to talk to their friend without you seeing. Their friend sort of then looks at both of you, and you could sort of see this unsubtle way that they've both sort of noticed you, and they sort of nod at each other. And then that person slowly turns around again and sort of looks at you and crosses their arms as you sort of pass by, as if they are reserving judgment, but are also aware that there is a new marked person, as well as carrying a sworn sword, as well as sworn armor.
I'm eyeballing them right back.
I mean, intimidation while you do, because we all know that Smith loves it.
Natural one.
Natural one. They, I think as you stare back, they do as well. Both of them. They sort of, without breaking eye contact with you, one of them looks to their friend and then continues to stare at you. And I think this happens for a couple of beats until you break eye contact. Could have been subconsciously, but for some reason, they won the moment as the intimidation does not really hold or stick.
They don't seem very scared of you.
Ty's watching this whole thing.
Did you find what you needed?
Bit concerning, isn't it? Don't see many people that ain't afraid of you.
Times change, I suppose.
We are so far east now. Will people not recognize us soon enough?
They will.
I think they already do. They're just a little bit indifferent.
Well, let's get some supplies and maybe we stay here and then we'll leave.
Yeah, okay. They mentioned going through tunnels. That they were dangerous. I don't know if it's faster.
You can ask
We
around.
Yeah, we should figure it out.
Yeah, we should. Look, I'm going to, not going to disguise myself while we're here. Might be a little foolish.
Fuck it.
Well, they've seen you already.
Yeah.
I know.
Disguising yourself might be a fool's errand now.
I know.
DM, is it a fresh day today?
It is. It is a fresh day.
Okay.
When it comes
Then-
to your... since the last fight you had?
Yes.
No. Yes, it is.
May I roll for my
course you can.
experimental elixirs today?
course
Thank
you
you.
I think as you are rolling for this, but this is obviously something you've probably done during the morning or during your morning wake-up ritual. Unless you're doing it right now and you're doing whatever. But I think as this happens, you hear, as you're all sort of talking, a feminine voice rings out and says, "Ah, hello." And she looks like she also now has this long navy robe with that same gold trim and roping. Also another pendant of the twin shields. And she has short, looks like not necessarily spiked, but like wisped hair, as if it was windswept. There's a large pale stripe that goes down the side of it as well. She looks to be like a middle-aged half-elf. And she says, welcome, welcome. And you notice immediately as she, on her face, she also has a large mark. It is unscarred, but she does also have a sign of a sanctioned mage of Evervale. And she says, welcome. I knew, and Yuru says that you were coming, and there is some here of the same favor.
I am staring at her mark, I think.
Okay.
It's
It's
unscarred, so she's
unscarred.
still like, yeah. So
Mhm.
we're so fucked, I guess.
Can I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Celery. I am one of the twin shields here. We govern all of Blue Falls.
I hesitate just for a moment.
Can I show you around?
Sure, that would be great, actually.
All right. Please, come along. Sort of like waits as if like a school teacher would wait for people to pass by into their classroom. She sort of waits with that smile of that like maternal smile.
I cast a glance at Smith that is like, fuck. And then I follow her.
She leads you through several different areas. The first place, she leads you through Smoke Row, is what they call it. This is Smoke Row here. This is where many of our fellow travelers will take up residence. A lot of rental houses and rooms are used here. Do be careful. The smoke, and you do see every once in a while a crack or a fissure of some of this rocky outcropping in this area by these houses seem to wisp up a plume or two. And she mentions, no need to worry, it's just steam from the upflow. But we still call it Smoke Row. So if you need a house or something, or a room or a cabin or something, we have several here. How long are you staying, do you think?
Are those harvesting the Spellwind? I'm looking at the windmills.
She smiles, a proud smile, and looks over towards them, and she goes, yes, they are. Those are my spell sails.
Spell sails. Interesting.
Very impressed.
Well, I noticed that the wind was... What are you using the energy for?
Well, to keep the upflow.
I see.
We're using it, Blue Falls was in a large, a hostile ground of giants. Used to be a large throne for giant activity. And me, my friends, and of the Twin Shields were able to bring the denizens and to claim it for us instead of the havoc that the giants would bring upon the civilians and the farmers of the area. So once we've claimed it, and once we have taken, and once we have kept the upflow in its perpetual current, we are able to harvest food, gain energy where we need it, and to continue being the trade stop that we continue to be. It's been working very well so far.
Incredible.
You said you designed it?
I did. I'll show it to you. Let's go there now. And she leads you off towards a different direction, obviously, toward these large spell sails. And if you are you all going, or is anyone doing anything here? Yeah, just all going on for the tour.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna walk up and stand by her. I'm sorry, did she say her name?
Celery.
Celery. Yes. So I'll actually be matching pace with Celery.
Okay.
You have a lot of experience with harnessing the Spellwind.
I guess I would say yes. I haven't done much besides these designs. I think the prototype of the spell sails have been very successful, and I haven't needed to create many other designs since. So my only experience, I guess, could be luck.
Well, everybody has to start somewhere.
That is true. So we're making our way over This is Night Rock, by the way, is what we call this area. It's really uninhabitable because of she sort of taps her foot, and you could start to see that she has like these wood grain heels that she sort of clicks onto the smooth stone of Night Rock. And she also mentions this is Night Rock. It's always facing the north. The sun never touches it, but this is the best place we could get. I could use all of this resource here and this land for the sails. And you notice as you get closer to them, they are these large sort of corkscrew sails that seem to be made of some sort of gossamer or iridescent screening. As they sort of corkscrew up and slowly turn. There are some, though, that are also facing different directions. There's some that are turning just like a turbine would in a corkscrew, and then there are some that are just facing, like I said, anti-windward, as the wind blows one way and the sails and the turbines of these large dragonfly-like winged sails start to point in a different direction. You don't see any sort of there isn't much. I think maybe Varsha and Jet. I think you may see maybe a particling around some of these wings or some of these sails as they sort of crank around slowly. And I think Smith, as you sort of take a look at these, I think you also see that there is some sort of the technology, or how it is at least being used here, is there is some sort of open channel that is pumping into the ground, at least from here. Whether or not it is some sort of gas that is going through a glass tube, or whether that is supposed to be lit by some sort of arcane plasma, it is hard to tell. But these large glass tubes, sort of hollow and invisible in contents, sort of just spiral into the ground nearby. These large, there doesn't look like these windmills, you can go inside of them at all. It just looks like there are these large turbines.
I'm extremely intrigued by these devices, but I have another priority right now. And I'm using this conversation that I'm sort of trying to small talk, and it's not really my strong suit. I'm using this small talk just to see exactly what I might notice about the mark on Celery.
So you are using this time to scan her mark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm chatting with her as she's sort of
making eye
showing us
contact,
around.
but also inspecting her mark. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me an insight with advantage.
Double sevens.
Don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not the best at small talk.
Okay. I think as you're...
So these windmills, these Spellwind mills, I guess, whatever you call them.
Spell sails, yes.
Spell sails,
Yes.
right.
It's not a great name, but...
How long ago did you make them? You don't mind me asking.
We've been here, settled for, this will be going on 6 years now. And I think at this point you start to notice, and you start to then scan her mark, and it is different than, it's still a facial tattoo. I think it actually goes up her cheek side here, and it is different, not in the same design. Whether or not, I think Smith would know that there are different marks, slightly different for each person. There are several marks that could genuinely be grouped together in some sort of category, whether it is like 3 swirls with a line that strikes through it with a fluting at the end, could be that could mean that they are very good at music. There could be also one that has several knots that looks incoherent, but that could mean that they are good with sorcery of wild magic. But this is hard to tell what type of mark this one is, but it is certainly different than Varsha's.
It's still very much Mark of the God King, though, correct?
It
Like
was,
we would know that.
You would know that it was.
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
be yes,
sanctioned
the same-
magic user.
Sanctioned,
Okay.
a sanctioned magic user. Yes.
And it's not a sworn mark. So she was not like
Exactly.
part of the military. Okay.
Right. Yours was
Got
a
it.
sworn mark that was
Yeah.
put when you made your oath. When you took your oath, they gave it to you.
Yeah.
And then, but she has this.
When I took my oath.
When you took your
Right.
oath. Yep. And she has this one that is, she is sanctioned exactly.
Okay.
Which could be a little bit more freeing. It's hard to say. Without.
Well, considering
obviously-
my oath was given to me, I think it's probably a bit more freeing for her.
Yes.
Who knows?
Who knows? Right, exactly. So, yeah, and then she mentions she does talk about how in a very excited way she also is, and as she chats, you do also you all pick up that she is very charming and charismatic in this way. She does mention her family and how she was, and her upbringing. And how her mother and her father were both sort of users of the arcane winds and things like that, which makes, and I think that is enough evidence for you, Smith, to understand that she's some sort of sorcerer. And as she just starts to talk about and starts to be very excited about these sails that she has created, she does talk about the also. Twin shields, and how her and her friends have called themselves twin shields and did these tasks and for the upbringing of Blue Falls. And then she leads you off into another section of the town. The Twilight Steeps is sort of what she calls the switchbacks from which you came up. She's sort of an overlook down where you came, and she talks about the switchbacks, and also there's a I think I mentioned last episode there was a crowning of architecture around Blue Falls, and that is also looks like to be these large stone cauldrons that were once fastened and built for the defense of Blue Falls against some of the giant activity and these giant sieges that would happen. And because of that, these cauldrons were tipped and eroded and burned a lot of the Twilight Steeps, which makes it very hard to pass, or very hard to climb now, but with a little bit of help from the rope pulleys and, of course, your guides being Yuru and people who have done this before, it is not as hard. And then she leads you back to the Upflow Inn, where she speaks about Upflow Inn and where it's come from. One of her friends, Bakrita, is the chef who also owns the place. They are very wonderful, but don't get on her bad side, she says, as get on their bad side, as she corrects herself and sort of shows you in a drink.
Maybe. Mind if I ask you a few questions about these spell sales?
Of course. As long as you don't mind me rambling about them.
The premise of capturing the Spellwind,
Mm-hmm.
where does it go?
Well, you see, deep below, there is a cavern that we all in Twin Shields went down, and we had. I don't know if you've met. Have you met Dosane yet?
I don't think so.
Dwarf, usually by the Upflow. Anyway, he is a Tempest cleric, So he was able to call upon the Tidal Father to help us open a rift into you're going to have to ask him where it was. But the spell sales are, in theory, and I think in proof now, is harvesting enough energy to keep that rift open. Thus, bringing the upflow to us. And we utilize the upflow for our own living and our own benefit.
How are you able to harness the Spellwind? You enchant the sails somehow?
Give me a persuasion.
Before I do this,
Yes. You have any inspiration?
no,
Okay.
I'm going to mention something else first. The reason that I ask
Mm-hmm.
this armor that I wear,
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
Well, I've studied it for a long time now, and I've had it for a long time now. If you're able to capture the Spellwind, are you able to I don't know if you know anything about magical items like this, but I've looked for a while now, and it couldn't hurt to ask. I'm looking for a way to remove it.
She sort of blinks in shock for a moment. To remove it, you can't take it
Marsha
off.
is also shocked.
You remove the armor or remove the magic.
Either or.
Well, what is the source of its power? I mean, are you using, and she starts to then, you don't mind if and then she starts to, go to inspect you.
I look at Jet and Ty, and I actually motion for us to step away so he can have a private moment with her.
Okay.
Man, Varsha.
Does she reach out?
She does. She does, I think, excitedly before. I think her excitement is more prevalent than her manners. And then she sort of tries to catch herself, but she's already inspecting.
I've already caught her wrist,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and I look at her in the eyes.
I'm sorry. Just, I'd like to help.
I know that. But old habits aren't exactly easy to break.
Her eyes fall for a second as she starts to then, I think, piece together your armor and her existence and how vulnerable this moment is for her. She's being clasped by someone who has probably been a part of her past. As she sort of...
I'm looking at her in the eyes for a moment.
She looks down at her hand. She looks down at your wrist. I'm sorry. And she then relaxes for a moment to try to...
I'm sorry. And I let her
all right.
wrist go.
As...
if you have some time, I would like to speak with you
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
But I
I-
suppose we have been traveling for a while, so we
Least I can do is
probably have a drink.
I'll buy you around. It'll be on me. And you can also, for the night, 2.
Perhaps we have ways to go.
I'll go reserve a cabin for you. As she starts to make her way out, she goes and talks to the dwarf behind the bar, who turns from grilling, and there seems to be a talk for a second, as she then points to you for, and then she points to herself, and then sort of signals to have a round, and then she passes by you and says, drinks are on me. I'll tell the others you're here. And then she passes by and out the front of the Upflow Inn.
Kind of look to everybody else. Got some drinks coming.
Okay.
You reckon that's safe? That fucking windmill.
Well, they've had it for about 6 years.
And what does it do exactly for the God King?
Don't know.
Blue Falls is for the God King, yes?
I actually didn't think so. I
don't
didn't think
so
it.
either.
I didn't think it stretched this far south.
No,
We met her.
I don't think so. She,
And why?
I don't know yet.
Did she leave? She must have.
She was getting us drinks. Her and I were going to have a conversation. I'll see what I can learn. From what I gathered, there must be some sort of special circumstance. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible she just left.
I mean
She's
about
not
the Mark
sworn.
Varsha.
Oh,
Is it possible to just leave?
well. As long as you're not sworn. Yeah.
You're the friends of Celery?
Yeah, that's us.
All right, got you around here.
Oh, thank you.
You are? It's for you. You need
Oh.
anything else if you're hungry?
Thank you. No,
all right.
I'm okay.
The dwarf makes their way over towards the bar again. Cropped hair, a large scar across their face, in a sort of haphazard pattern, not unlike Varsha's, but also has no pigment, unlike Varsha's. And they turn to walk away, and then they sort of look at you, Ty, for a moment, and they give like some sort of knowing nod, like a welcome back, sort of.
As they turn to walk away, so have they just given us drinks?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as their back is turned, I am going to reach into my pockets and I'm going to pull out a small white-looking seed, and I'm going to just drop it into my own drink, and then silently, it's going to absorb the fluid, and then expand as it does, it assumes the color of the bottom of the flask, and it looks like the flask has been emptied, and I am adapting a prestidigitation to instantaneously clean an object because I don't trust these people.
Okay.
I drink my drink.
The drink that has been given to you is some sort of red ale. It has some wonderful amber notes as well as a smooth sort of molasses finish that goes very well with, you would assume, some of these fish, and of course the fish smell of the area. And also with this permeated, salted atmosphere of this is also quite refreshing to drink this cold, this ice cold ale. And then you die. Just kidding. But everything goes pretty much. Yeah, and the dead. Everything pretty much goes.
I knew it.
Yeah, haha. And then Jet wins. Jet wins D&D. And then, yeah, things go on for pretty much like this for a while. There is just this, I would assume there is this tension where a lot of you are not quite sure if you trust what's happening. There are several others that come in throughout the day. You do also notice someone looks to be a high elf. They have sort of like this goldish skin. They also have this white hair that is pulled back into a top knot. Their long ears are longer than the average elf, as they sort of he limps, tall, gangly sort of, and starts to limp toward the bar. Also on the armor that he wears is another one of these twin shields crests. And you see, as they make their way over toward the bar, the Brakida, the chef who just served you your drinks, turns around and they sort of talk as if they know each other, and give them a tall drink, and they turn around in their seat. They turns around in his seat and sort of, or at the bar stool, and then sort of looks over in your table's direction, and whoever it is that's looking, or whatever it may be, I think that's when you all sort of, or whoever it is, looks away and goes back into this conversation as you notice this other high elf sort of join in the midday lull of the Upflow Inn. And talks for a bit. A couple beats go by as this tall high elf sort of sips the drink, and then sort of spins around gracefully back toward the bar and leans over and continues their drink.
Just keeping an eye on them.
Okay.
Here and there.
Give me an insight.
12.
Looks like a regular. Also, clearly knows Brakida. You do also see, as time goes on, I think you all start to notice and see the habits of the workers here. There are several of these of the people here grabbing some of these framed taut nets and just sort of scooping into the upflow, or walking over to the large water feature that is in the half of this building, and sort of scoop in and try to catch these large looking tropical fish about the size of like a salmon, but they look like not unlike a betta fish, with like their large plumes of fins as they make their way over toward Brakida. Brakida takes several of the multicolored, several different assorted fish, slices them haphazardly, and puts them again on the grill. And this sort of happens and keeps going for a couple of hours as you just sort of digest, relax, and take in the atmosphere of the upflow.
Yeah, I think I am mostly watching and taking everything in, like every small, minute detail that is different from back home such as the tropical fish I've never seen before,
Yeah.
down to probably, like what they're wearing and how they butcher the fish. All these things are probably different in small ways. So I think I'm just paying attention to all of that and looking into my drink. And the wind chimes are pretty calming, but other than that, I feel like I'm a little uneasy and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In this brief downtime, I'm also going to give Miss Vasha a familiar-looking vial. It consists of a pale liquid with very pale bubbles inside, but almost resemble like, boba or, like those tapioca balls.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows what it is.
Okay.
I will pocket it or put it in my bag, my pouch,
Okay.
for later, right?
Right,
Yeah.
if you ever need it. But when it goes flat, it means it's off.
Yeah, okay. So today, right?
Today,
Yep. Thank you.
of course.
Do you ever just feel completely robbed?
Robbed of what?
All this? Like this could have been how it was for any of us.
I mean, respectfully, I never had and all of this, so it is hard to feel robbed,
That's what I mean. None of us had any of this. Robbed before we were born.
It's not like you to speak so negatively.
Yeah. Sorry.
Technically, I was robbed after I was born.
Technically, I was robbed because I was born.
Okay, it looks like it's my job today. Well, at least, we have tomorrow to look forward to. And maybe this can be our new normal, right? That's what we're fighting for with the Entente.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yeah. It's nice.
Any
though.
more of this talk and I'll jump off the falls myself. Jesus.
Sorry, Jet.
It's okay.
I would just like to exist for 5 minutes without being hated by someone. No matter where I go. Hated in the Sworn. Hated by the God King. Then forced to work for the God King and hated there. Hated here. 5 minutes.
And then maybe we'll try and steal another minute after that.
Mm.
And then after that.
Aftoki.
What about Aftoki?
Looking
They don't
for
hate us
Russia.
there.
Aftoki was the first place. It was the first time. They had no reason to be kind to us. They had no reason to help us. They didn't help us because they wanted us to fix their basilisk problem. We went to their town and we found out about it afterwards. They didn't require it. They just asked. Aftoki was the first place.
How many of us stayed back at Aftoki after we left? I haven't been counting, but it would not surprise me if many did. For that same reason.
That is a
There were
good
a lot.
question. Sorry. GM, do we know this?
And what was the question? I was reading.
How
the
many
thing.
of our people stayed behind at Aftoki? Or did they all come with us?
The 20 or so of that dark ward, that night ward that you freed from Stormford, they are with you. Everybody else that you freed fucked off on the boats with
Nice. Okay.
So nobody has
Larkin.
abandoned us just yet?
and Larkin. What was that?
So nobody has abandoned us just yet?
No, no one has
Oh.
abandoned you. Yeah, they're all
Yet.
everybody who you have taken or at least brought on this path are very excited for the academy, or at least they seem to be.
Okay.
The only people, sans the Eftoki orcs, who are just excited to be out and doing their caravanning again and trade.
What is... I imagine most of these people who are with us from the boats are with us now in this tavern, yes?
Yes,
Oh,
there
yeah.
are some here, but I think like as you have made your way, and they're not following you by your side, but they have
No.
sort of intermixed into, and now enjoying the sights of Blue Falls and things, and they are mixed into the civilization as you're here. But you don't need to like watch them or babysit the swarm of sorcerers you have. They're just all sort of here.
I only ask because this entire time I have not necessarily been paying attention to them at all. In terms of their general demeanor,
Mm-hmm.
they were taken from essentially this prison island.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, maybe they deserved it, maybe they didn't because of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But as they are now in this peaceful place, how is their demeanor? I mean,
Yeah.
are they looking mischievous? Are they looking...
Yeah. As give me an insight with advantage.
Okay. Insight with advantage. 18.
Yeah. It's very. I think it's easy for you, Jet, to read people, especially because you sort of look at people in the light of if they are healthy, if they are okay, and you do notice that there has been a shift since probably when you started to see Blue Falls itself, and you were surrounded by these large Pompeii-like giant statues that are sort of being flooded by this pool down below. You've noticed that they have been very awestruck in the sights of Blue Falls. And now that you're here within Blue Falls proper, you notice that they all seem to be excited and are enjoying their time here, their rest. They are excited but also tired because they've been traveling with you this entire time. But they are pretty content with at least where you are right now.
Nobody is looking or feeling evil.
No.
Okay.
Do you want them to?
No. I mean, we just took very violent, very
could make some
dangerous people
changes.
from a prison.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to be happy, and friendly, it's okay
Allegedly
too.
violent people from the prison.
I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Propaganda.
From the correctional facility.
Right. Correct.
They seem to be enjoying their time as much as anyone else. There are, I think, you see in some of the denizens of Blue Falls are a little bit more mischievous in that. If you are looking for people who are rougher and a little bit more on this aggressive or subtle hostility, then I think you would probably see that in the people who are here. There are, like I've said before, there are armored civilians here, or at least armored people or residents here that you have seen who look like they may be also mid-travel or also in some sort of here on business. whether it's adventuring or thieving, sellsword, or smuggling, or what have you. It does look like that. It's that type of crowd.
Okay. I have so many questions.
I have so many answers.
Okay, I don't know who to ask the question to. I'll turn to Miss Vasha.
Sure, there's someone.
So, all I have known my entire life is the Empire. And their reach. Blue Falls does not seem to be within that reach, but Blue Falls cannot be independent, can it? Who runs this place? Are we safe?
Celery and one other, according to her.
So she runs this entire place?
Well,
Seems like it.
And
she
they are...
designed these spell sails.
Okay.
There's a cleric as well that's part of the process, but seems like it.
And they're independent.
Never really heard much about Blue Falls.
If you're talking about not being a part of that God King's reach, then yes.
And I think at this point you sort of turn and look.
Is this seat taken?
And a chair honks over as a balding dwarf, the one you saw before, starts to then sit down. And
Smith's
before you
favorite
even-
thing.
Yeah.
Is this seat taken? I'm sitting without actually waiting for your answer.
And he sits down and
Just eyeballing him the whole time.
He goes, well, welcome. Celery told me you will all be here. I'm Dosane. I am a cleric of the Title Father. So if anyone wants anything, or if you need someone, I know it's been a long...
the other twin shield?
Well, there are several of us. There is me, there is my sister, or my sibling Brakeda. There is also Oster, is the tall, half high elf guy. And there is also... that's it, that's us.
So brethren
Celery.
by choice.
By choice, eh? Used to do a lot of adventuring together, and now we're here. It's an opportunity we couldn't really pass up. Not many people could say they live on top of the cliffs and enjoying a town they helped rear into existence. All right. You get you another
people
drink.
like fighting giants either.
What was that?
Not many people like fighting giants either.
No. It's not something we like to do, but it's something that needed to be done. And unfortunately, we were able to, well, I guess fortunately, we were able to take the throne from their seat of power, so we could, have Blue Falls. Huh?
he's sort
And
of
where are they now?
sort of proud of his accomplishments.
Where are they now? Fuck if I know. There are times where it's still Blue Falls is still in a bit of a path. A lot of what we see is a lot of giants tread through this area still, and I think Blue Falls used to be their stopping point, or at least I think what they called it, Cragmar, was their stopping point. But now, as they go from the Jade Sea and they march down through across the spine, but we do our best to keep them at bay.
So you're the cleric?
I'm the cleric. I'm good things, I hope I'm hearing.
Very.
Good.
We don't typically run into clerics where we're from.
Well, it does make sense.
And he sort of reaches behind and sort of pushes some hair behind his ear. And as he does, you start to notice a subtle mark behind his ear.
So you have your own God King then?
What do you mean?
Oh, I could never believe that. No, the God King, or the King of Evervale, has been calling himself a king for who knows how long now. And it's old.
Do
I've
I
seen.
do I actually know how long? Because Varsha would speak up.
Yeah, I think it's over 100 years.
Yeah, 136 years.
Hey, yeah, 136.
He sort of pauses for a moment,
But he goes, hey, but I've seen more things happen with the Title Father. We wouldn't be able to be here without him. Smell that?
and he sort of sniffs the air.
That salted breath is the Title Father's boon. You all want a bit of what he also offers? I can get you some of the grilled fish here, eh? Arcada, could we get around?
You notice they sort of, without even looking back, their thumb comes into the air as they continue grilling, and they put, if you look over, they put these large tropical fish on the grill and
You're just passing through, or?
Yeah.
Hey,
Sure. Trying to get out of that reach.
How does all this work?
come to the right
I
place. What?
I kind of motion with my hand.
How does what all work? The upflow? Or
I've never really heard about Blue Falls very much.
hey, good. So we like to hear.
as he sort of
The point
gestures towards
is-
your armor.
The
Why
point-
isn't the Empire here?
Well, the Empire, it's probably a matter of time before they get here. But unfortunately, and when they do, I think we'll be ready. We've been able to keep the giants off for a while, and I think with some of our technology from whatever Celery is doing, she believes we could have ourselves a pretty strategic advantage.
And then you hear also Brakida from the grill say something along the lines of,
Don't worry, we'll get him.
as it seems like they also can hear about this conversation and also are very sure that they can take on the God King very confidently as they continue to toss some of the fish over the grill.
You've got a nice place here. Nice
Thank
place to live.
It's really something. This is and it wasn't until after the upflow that we, all of us, a part of all the Twin Shields, got together and said, this is what we want to do. We'll stay here and take care of it. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. It's been really nice. Feel free. Celery said she got you a room or a cabin over in the smoke row. So if you need anything or anything at all, just ask one of us. Have you met everyone, all of the Twin Shields yet?
No, but
Oh, all right. Well, I'm
I
sure
was
we'll
going to
come
have a conversation with Celery. You know where I might be able to find her?
Celery is probably either in her house or over checking on the sales. But if you want, I can go fetch her or something.
She and I were going to have a private conversation.
All
If you
right.
feel comfortable, if you could point me in her direction, maybe I could.
Sure, yeah, like I said, she could be. She's got a large house in the smoke row. It's made of. It's. You won't be able to miss it. It's got a large crest of an old blue seal on the side.
Thank you.
Of course.
I look to the rest of the group.
I nod.
And not to
I'm gonna walk off.
I think at this point, Brakida comes over and serves, I think, after Smith makes his exit. They come over and serve the different, you do see, like all these fish, you do see that these fish have, each plate is prepared the same, but the fish coloration is different. It does look like a plate-sized fish or like a trout or something, filleted and in front of you, but also with these beautiful fins and feathering of these tropical fish just sort of splayed out in front of you. There is a dusting of seasoning across it, and they place it out in front of you. They sort of just look and enjoy, and then they walk
Thank
back
you.
to the grill. Hey, and then you see Dosane look at them for a second and
Thank you.
and then more for me, and he just scoots Smith's plate over in front of him and starts to dig in.
Oh, this is great. Your title father be praised. This is so good.
If you don't mind me asking more about this title father, is
All
what
right.
you call it?
The title
Yeah.
father, eh? The weeper of the winds. Yes.
Right. We don't learn any of that, and I just gesture to my mark, my scarred mark,
All right.
where I'm from. So,
I get that. I get
but I'd love to hear about it. And then I start to eat. I'm like nervous because I don't think I've ever had anything like this before, but I'm also somewhat excited because it's really pretty. So I'm not distrusting. I'm more just like that nervousness that you have of like, am I going to enjoy
hope
this food
is
or not?
good food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you tentatively start to. Where do I start? I guess I'll start at the
I guess I'll start
side.
with the.
Yeah, and the fin, it has the texture of seaweed would. It sticks to your tongue and also has a lot of wonderful flavors. But it is very well done. It is a smooth, buttery type of preparation as this grilling or however they prepare it is just exquisite. But as you sort of dig in, and as you all, I assume, listen in, I forgot his name. I have it right here because I lost all my notes.
I'm assuming that the different colored fish
Here it is.
might taste slightly different. So while I'm listening, and after that first delicious bite, I will actually just like cut up 2 more chunks and put them on Jet and Ty's plate for them to try it if they want to try the different flavored. And I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just like, I do that, and then
and
I'm listening, and then I go back to eating.
Okay. Dosane then mentions
The title father is known to. I'm not sure where to start. I guess the title father is usually depicted as a beard of seaweed. Also is known for the ebb and flow of life. That also meaning on life. A lot of people think life is not necessarily, I shouldn't say good, but when you are in the... How do you feel about dead things? Is everyone okay with that? Dead things, dead stuff? I don't want to scare anyone.
I hate dead things.
Okay. Well, for your friend here, life doesn't just mean alive. So with the title father, they do various things to bring people back, and they say that if you are to perish out in the waters, you will be brought back as one of the fish in the title father's.
I look down at the fish I'm fucking eating. Oh my god.
continues eating.
But the title father also is just in the ways, if you are, is very good at making deals. If you are something you could offer him, he will do his best to pay it forward in full, if not more.
So what did you offer him to get the upflow?
There was an old friend of ours who wasn't really a friend. Turned out to be a spy for the God King.
He sort of points to you all with his knife.
And it wasn't long until we noticed and we figured it out. A title father gave me a vision that it was confirmed it was this person. So the best I have done was offer him this person in the best way I knew I could have. And that was to offer him to the title father, and he accepted.
I look lost in thought for a moment as I think back on what I've learned about these gods and how they're potentially fighting each other and picking people and how
The
dangerous that
paradox.
is. Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm just lost thinking about that because I think that's what this sounds like again. You know, especially if this god took someone from the God King. It seems connected somehow.
Mm.
I think I'm just thinking about that while I'm eating my fish.
And I should also mention it's Godin. I don't know if anyone has taught you. Godin is, because there's always I guess the God King would be a self-proclaimed Godin, because masculine presenting. But the umbrella term for the god, if Brakida was to get a divine gift, they would be a god. So you'd have your goddess, or it would be whatever, Gaia or so. And then you'd have your godin, which would be the title for her. And then you'd have Brakida, who would be a god. So that's how that is. Any other questions about that? Or this is great. I haven't really told anybody about all this in a long time.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Is there anything else?
How did you...
Rubs his greasy hands together.
I mean, how did you know to contact him? How did you know he was around?
It's a great question. Well, a lot of people of my profession or my way of life, being a cleric or a person of the cloth, is a lot of it has to do with,
And I think you also hear Brakida in the background just sort of say, "Oh, not this again." And as Dosane keeps talking,
right, well, a lot to do with belief. There is something, if you believe in hard enough, you will, of course, make it so. And it's just a matter of which one you want to call upon, which god will be in your favor when you do such a thing. So I've learned about the title father back when sorry, I'm a bit emotional.
and he sort of,
I had a water snake. It's like a large fish. It was an eel type. You know that wriggly thing? I made friends with it when I was younger. And it got very sick. Wouldn't eat anymore. I used to feed it from my hand and it wouldn't stop eating. And it ended up dying. I did what I could, and I asked various people, doctors in my clan, to try and figure out how to get Slick back. That was his name, Slick, and how to get him back to, and how to make him better. And they said there is nothing you can do. The title father has him now, and that's when it clicked on to me that I will ask the title father myself. And I never was able to get Slick back, but he's still with me.
and he kind of lifts up his beard, and you see this coiled, dried eel bones coiled around on an amulet.
I can still keep him here and has my I know that he's with me, and the title father is guiding me forward, and someday I will be back with him again.
Yes, but how do you know that it's the title father? What does that feel like? For someone who's never...
Right. Well, before there was any of this, before the smell of seawater and before the upflow, it was all sulfur and stink here. And we would come up, there was of course these ruins of these giant buildings and things of the nature. It stunk like high heavens, and we were able to, once we found the channel down and dive into the tunnel down into what is now the overflow and find this cavern. We were, in this throne room, we were able to, it was then where deep in the bowels of this sulfur-infested tunnel, where I was able to smell seawater. I could hear it lapping against my brain and my psyche, and I knew that the title father was with me. And that is when I called upon him, and I said, we need something. There is something here. We need to get rid of these giants so these people here in Blue Falls and these farmers can have a place to have and call their own. And we need to have a haven. Please, title father, I think I said it something like that. It was several, it was also in, I also said it in Dwarvish, so you'll have to, Grarski, Brul, Askren, title father, Libolarski, you understand, and
I do, actually.
prayed, and you speak Dwarf.
A little bit.
Oh, it's great.
And I will say probably what sounds like a 13-year-old,
Right.
Dwarf, broken Dwarvish, and then I will say a little bit. I learned a little bit.
Sort of nods in that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Okay.
It's very bad, and I
that's-
apologize.
That's fun. Yeah, it's great. I think it's not bad. That bad. It's not that bad. Either way, I was able to call upon him, and he responded. A wound opened up inside the caverns, inside the sunken throne room of this giant cavern, and I was able to ride the current upward. And we only had a couple of moments, if not a couple of days, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, 6 years. I believe it was, we didn't have long, I remember that. And Celery already had designs in place. And she kept that rift open. Wouldn't be here without her, or without the title father. If it wasn't for the title father, we'd probably all be dead. And the people of the plains here, they would all be starved. I know that. Are you all done? Do you have barely?
Yes, thank you. It was
Yeah,
delicious.
wonderful. I'll take this.
And he grabs some of the plates and starts to then stack them haphazardly and makes his way back over and drops them off on the bar.
My plate is full, but I let them take it anyway.
Okay. I think he does.
I
Oh,
picked
I'll
it.
leave it for you.
what was that, Ty?
I picked at mine.
Okay.
Still working or?
No.
Perfect. Okay.
And he grabs it all and he makes his way over towards the bar and leaves you alone for a bit.
How alone are we? Like, am I able to have a?
Alone
I
at the
noticed.
table.
Okay, but I noticed that they were able to listen in when he was sitting here.
He was a loud talker.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I can speak quietly, and
You can
it's
speak
not like anything. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not going to have you need to make a stealth check or anything.
okay.
Also, the bar is starting to fill up at this point. So it's like around, like 5 at night or something. So like the bar is starting to fill. So the people here are starting to come in for food and drinks. So it is a little bit easier for you to mask whatever it is you need to say and to have a little bit of privacy.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't really think very good about these people and their prospects. If they think that they can stave away the God King with fish and salty breath, but
What do you
From
think about the
everything-
title, Father? You think that's
nothing.
real?
If it is nothing good, there's no difference between the Tidal Father and the God King. I mean, both are displacing people, even if they are giants. It made it sound as if they were bringing salvation to people, giving them a promised land, but at the same time, what about the giants? If this was their place, it's all the same. I reject their hospitality. I have enough of my own. I don't trust
What do you-
them.
Believe all that stuff about signs and visions and all that.
You don't believe it?
I'm asking if you do.
I might.
Who's to say it ain't the Spellwind or something, you know? Fucking with us.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering as well.
Or maybe we're just looking to fucking get some pieces together.
What if we could call on one? I'm not saying the title, Father, but I'm just saying.
There is a lot of what if to your what if, Miss Vasha.
Yeah,
Do you
what's
think
the
it's-
prize?
Well, do you think it's even worth investigating? Or asking?
Finding our own private god to take on the God King.
Yeah.
And what if it goes wrong? What if whatever we manifest is hungrier than the God King himself?
Do you think they're all the same?
Why wouldn't they be? I mean, you have seen what their version of salvation is, but at the same time, it's the same.
Yeah.
It may not be one man trying to control an empire, but it is a people who have displaced another. I don't see the difference.
Well, that is sort of what we will be doing, Jet.
But at the same time, we are taking what was taken from us. We're not taking from other people.
I mean, this was generations ago. There are other people there now who had nothing to do with what the God King did.
Correct. However, as far as I'm aware or concerned, considering you and Mr. Smith are here with us now, a lot of it isn't under free will, is it? It is under mandate from this one man. If he is taken down, that is all I want. After that, the people can decide what they want.
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
think the people know how to decide what they want anymore.
I don't know anything else. I'm sorry, I'm a bit cranky. I haven't eaten yet. Mr. Tai, you haven't really spoken much. What do you think about all this?
Dunno. Don't think it matters much.
Why not?
Blue Falls ain't my problem.
What if it's bigger than Blue Falls?
You mean gods and all that?
I nod.
Then, we don't matter.
You've been asking us questions, Miss Vasha, but what do you think?
I don't know yet. That's why I'm asking. Trying to gather different perspectives so I can figure out how I feel about it.
I mean, you have served firsthand for the God King.
I flinch when you say that.
So you understand more than myself or Mr. Tai where this can go. So, if and when you make up your mind, I'm listening. But as it stands, I don't trust these people, or their motives, or their goals. I realize only after I finish my sentence that she flinches, and I kind of retroactively flinch back and lose eye contact again. And hide under my clothes.
I look around nervously for a second and then back down at my drink. I've been feeling strangely since we left.
Left where? The Empire or
Yes.
Afdoki?
The Empire.
What kind of strange?
A strange connection to something I can't see.
Something like this. What a god?
I'm trying to figure that out. I don't actually know. You remember, down in the, in that first, when I turned that corner?
How could I forget? Yes?
It's like that. And I am... I'm tempted. I want this so badly that I'm afraid of the temptation. What if that's why it's speaking to me?
This moment, Ty, could I get a perception as well as chat?
A perception check.
Advantage. Because you are looking at Barsha. Ty, you notice that her hair is blowing in a different direction than the breeze coming from the door.
Is it the same direction as the Spellwind hitting the spell cells?
Yes.
You would assume you do not have any vision of the spell cells from here.
What if my hatred for the God King is all-consuming? That I would trade anything to have an advantage? And I might. I don't want to hurt anyone, obviously.
Then would you?
Would I hurt anyone or would I accept?
It might not be your choice. Whatever this is. Knowing this, could you make that sacrifice?
I don't know. I hope not. But it's like he said, it feels calming.
Just know that whatever choice you make, I am behind you. Not only because I consider you a friend, but because I feel I have no choice.
Oh, I flinch at that as well. Oh, God. I get up and leave. Fuck.
I look out the window.
Your friend coming back?
I don't know.
All right, well, got another drink for her. You all want another round?
No, I... Yes, please. 2. For me.
Hey.
Yeah.
They drop down 2 pints or 2 steins, and then the third one stays on the tray, and they walk away. I'll leave it here just in case.
Thank you. I just look at Ty and take my drink, and in cheers, I just go 2 balls and I down it.
We join Smith as Smith makes his trek across heavy footfalls, usually accompanying his heavy armor. Heavy footfalls start to hit a grouted, porous land. Wooden spikes are stuck into the ground here, holding up several architectural pieces. Some of the pores from the stone underneath your feet start to hiss, steam, and pop as you start to walk into the smoke row. Several familiar houses and cabins start to dot your periphery as you make your way toward a small home with a large blue seal encrusted onto the doorway. As you approach, the door opens, and Celery has her back turned. She closes the door and then turns towards you.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, hello. I was just heading up toward the keep, and she points toward a cliffside where there is a large keep that is... I was just going to get ready for...
I'm interrupting.
No, it's... What can I help you with?
We'd spoken a while ago about maybe having a private conversation.
I know. She just... We can talk. Do we want to go up to the keep? We can go to... it's here?
Wherever you think is best.
Okay. I'll show you the keep. And she sort of walks up this windy path towards the back of the smoke row. It winds up to a small shelf, probably only about 10 feet or so. She turns back and says, "Watch your footing here and there." And some rocks start to kick aside, but it does wind up toward the keep that is depicted right where my frame usually goes. As she makes her way up towards the keep, there's not many guards or anything nearby. As she just opens up the doors, it swings open to an empty keep. There's no lit torches or anything. It just looks like it's pretty vacant right now. The architecture, looking at it, doesn't look to be... It looks human in make, or at least more so in the familiar architecture that the rest of Blue Falls has. There isn't much of an indication that this was once owned by giants, meaning that this keep has been built probably within the last 6 or so years, since Blue Falls started to really rise in this. She makes her way in, and she just there's a slight echo of her wooden heels making across the empty courtyard of this probably 25 by 50 foot large courtroom type space. And there's a slight echo in the empty room as she just goes and lights a brazier or a candelabra on the side of the wall. The candlesticks do look like they haven't really been burned a lot, and it does sort of look like that this keep is relatively new and hasn't been used often. But it does look like there is a ring of chairs, or a semicircle of chairs, just pushed toward a glorious view of the western side of the spine, going down toward the Jade Sea. And you could see Eftoki way off in the distance. But there are these 4 or 5 chairs that you would presume is where these twin shields would sit. And she just lights the candelabra and says, "I've been thinking about your armor and what we can do. I am right to assume that it is Tears of the Moon." As she references the gemstone technology.
I sit down and I sort of look her over again. Can you describe her again for me, please?
Yes, she has these regal navy blue looking robes with a gold trim and gold roping. She also has that gold pendant. She has windswept hair that is raven in color. She looks about to be like a middle-aged...
She human?
She's a middle-aged half-elf. And she has a streak of pale blue, sort of like a Cruella de Vil type streak that goes through her hair with this like windswept style that she has. She's very charming, as she has this very nurturing behavior, but in a pretty beautiful way, as she talks about the Gialoon's tears and your armor.
Yeah, I sort of show her. I retract one of the sort of rings on my armor. Turn it. Lay it down on the table. I spent a long time learning about this armor, and I only know of one way to remove it, and I don't want to do that. I was hoping that there was another way.
She looks at you grim as she sort of understands what you are hinting at in this somber
Making a
moment.
lot of eye contact.
You're giving a lot of eye contact?
No, I'm making a lot of eye contact for her.
Yeah. Um, she... May I? And she approaches and starts to inspect and turn your wrist, as well as I think, look at the exposed gem, or the fuel cell that we were using these gems as from Gialoon's Tears, this very rare stone. She does, when she looks at it, she does have a bit of a gasp in awe. Oh, this is
I've
quite
made a
expensive.
few modifications over the years since I had to. Well, I was stuck with it, so.
Did you try to make it more comfortable, I assume? As she's still twisting your arm a bit,
No.
looking. No?
No.
She averts her gaze for a moment, breaking the eye contact, and goes back into looking. I haven't learned or studied anything about Gialoon and its properties. But I can try to think of something. I don't... What do you think happens if you were to take it off?
It returns to me. I have tried before.
Okay. She fastens or reaches towards her belt, where she thumbs a cylindrical leather case, and she pulls out a piece of parchment, unrolls it, and then I think from a seam somewhere in her robe, she pulls out a quill. And just by sort of looking at it for a moment, she, much like looking at a nurse sort of clear the syringe of air bubbles, she sort of is doing the same thing as she watches this quill, as you start to see ink start to drip from the tip. And then she presses it against the parchment and starts to, at least what you would assume, start taking notes about what you're saying. She scribes for a bit as, how did you acquire it?
It was made for me. I was given this armor.
By choice?
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Okay. She starts to write down. After a few moments of her thinking and writing, she need to actually land on the table. She rolls it up and then slides it back into the scroll case. As she then walks over toward a bookshelf. Seems pretty barren. There isn't much in it, but she does pull out some sort of tome. In this tome are a bunch of loose leaf pages that have been fastened in by some sort of rope or some sort of twine that would act as the makeshift spine of this tome. And she flips through some notes, and you do see, as you glance down, you do see that there are the blueprints of the spell sails that are out front, and how they were designed. She starts to then look at the some of the pages and some of the designs, and then she stops.
As she's looking through the pages, I'm also looking at them. And I just say, that's very clever.
Thank you. I have always been interested in the winds I think there is.
I've studied them for a while.
I think that, and she interrupts the pause or the moment for her explanation as she starts to then mention how there is something that can be done, whether it is electrically charging the Spellwind or creating this some sort of there is some sort of energy that is created, some sort of critical state the Spellwind can get into once it is condensed and channeled in a she obviously says this with more pizzazz than I do, with what is the word, in a vacuum-like state. There is no in this vacuum, the Spellwind is highly volatile and can also travel at very quick speeds. That's how.
Is this what you're doing with capturing it?
Yes.
I see.
And she goes, that's a lot of it has to also do with the sails themselves. As she starts to then bleed into her nerding out about her designs.
I'm going to have a back and forth with her about this.
Yeah.
There's certain innocence that I think you wouldn't have seen before from Smith. As she's speaking about this kind of thing. He's always been very intrigued by all of this, all of these designs and these ideas.
She mentions the sails. The sails themselves are actually woven from... She sort of arbitrarily looks around at an empty room as if she wants no one to hear her, or looks out the door, that the ajar door, to no one that is there. It's due to the silk is harvested from... Do you know... Have you ever encountered a phase spider?
Yes.
No, their silk is how I'm able to conduct and transfer the energy from the Spellwind into its volatile form, of course, with several other innovations. So,
we've run across several of them in our travels. They didn't take too kindly to us.
yeah, they are very territorial. Where did you see them? And she goes to grab her notes again, or scroll, and then starts to then wait for an answer, and she starts to, whatever you say, starts to describe it.
Celery.
Yes.
It might be better that you don't know.
Okay. Understood.
The conversation that we're having right now, I probably should have said something, but it's rare that I feel like I can speak to someone openly. You probably don't want to know me. I'm not a good man. I probably shouldn't have this information. I appreciate the conversation, but I should probably leave.
Okay. I'll walk you out as she sort of gathers her things, the tome included, and sort of walks you towards the front of this keep. It is a bit awkward as she slowly closes the door behind you, and but then she opens it for a moment and says, I'm still gonna figure this out for you. And then she, with a slight smile, she closes the door and goes back to her plans, leaving you on the cliffside, the shelf in front of you, small windy stairs that lead down back into the smoke row. Wind is blowing.
I'm just kind of like looking down on my feet, just in front of the door. Yeah. Probably better not to know me.
It is the rest of the evening goes by pretty uneventful. You all find your way making your way toward the smoke row, finding the cabin or so, the residence that you have rented, or at least what Celery has rented for you. It's not bad. There seems to be a loft of a second floor, and there seems to also be sort of a sitting area down below that overlooks a good chunk of the Blue Falls. There is a little kitchenette area that involves some sort of stone fireplace and then a workspace to cook and then maybe rest the food. And there are some facilities that you can, within walking distance, for you to, if you so need. There are rooms in this cabin for you all to have your own, which has probably been a luxury that you didn't know that you might have wanted for a while. Because I think the last time you all rested for an evening in an inn, it was at the Domes in 9 years, I believe. And that was all together in one place.
Yeah.
So, as you all sort of make your way to rest and you start going through your nightly routine and just sort of digest the day, is there anything anybody is...
Very strong digestion.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. Is there anything anybody wishes to do before they rest? I imagine it's probably a quiet, awkward conversation or so of, should we be here, kind of. Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the energy that is happening here?
Sort of. I don't necessarily think that many of us have shared. I mean, we've shared our suspicions, but at the same time, I don't think anybody has said, I don't like it here, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I'm not actually nervous about this place.
No, Ty has been very calm. So, I am going
I also
to...
have been, definitely very different. I think everyone probably noticed that I was
Probably notice.
a lot less paranoid in this place.
So I am going to follow suit. If these two people feel they're safe, then I am going to go to the farthest corner of the room and set up my apparatus for the night. And I don't think I have the alarm spell prepared, so I'm just going to sleep.
I probably before bed. I don't know how the room situation is sorted. Did we have multiple rooms?
Multiple rooms.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we each have our own for the 1st time.
Mm-hmm.
Very long
Mm.
time. Like a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
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 Oh, we are not in dorms? I'm in my
No,
own
no, no,
room.
no. You are not. That was just in 9 years. There's a lofted area where the rooms are, with and sort of an overlook into this kind of like picture like a ski cabin, right? It's gonna have
Mhm.
that's gonna have that lodge up there.
Oh, okay.
And then that's where the rooms and such are. There's underneath that loft. Underneath the loft is where there's like a kitchenette area, and then there's this large sitting space that overlooks a good chunk of Blue Falls with windows and tapestries in front that you can part and close for privacy and things like that. But there isn't. Yeah, and that's sort of it. Is these couple chairs here to enjoy the view and people watch if you want. There's also, of course, the loft. But yeah, you all have your own separate sleeping arrangements.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to leave a couple vials by the door.
Okay.
So that if somebody opens the door, it'll make a noise.
Little jingle, sure.
Yes. I'm not going to make like a magic prank or something, or, like a trap to drop.
Put a bucket
acid.
of tar on top of it. Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to... Now I'm going to sleep. I just didn't know if I was alone or not.
Yeah,
How
no.
far away are the other rooms? Are we next door? Are we adjoining? How is it working?
The rooms are, there's 4 of them in each corner of the loft. They are not attached, as there are little hallways that go to different like bedside tables and furniture that adorn a small circular window.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just thinking a lot.
That's all right.
I will now sleep.
Okay. Anyone
I
else?
say good night to Violet, and I sleep.
I'll make my way to Varsha's room.
Violet's wings cover their bottle-like face, and they sleep like an adorable cat when they stretch and do that thing.
Oh my
Sort of
god.
That's sort of what Violet does. Okay, and you head on over to Varsha's room.
I'm in my room on the window,
Mm-hmm.
in the windowsill with my whiskey canteen.
Then dangling one leg out the window and just...
Yeah.
Just
I lift
enjoying
it up to
life.
the moon
Yeah.
at one point, and I'm actually a little bit drunk because we've been drinking all day.
So
And I
yeah,
take a
on
sip
top
from
of a
it.
couple drinks, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, it is a wonderful view. You do see the sun, the perpetual sun of the south, is skimming across the sky here as the moon sort of sinks into the horizon toward the west and over the Jade Sea. There is this beautiful, for a moment, the god rays of the southern sun are just for a second fog and obscure the sinking of Jialoon behind the mountain, behind the horizon, which is a really beautiful sight that you probably never would imagine you'd see from this distance. Also, from where you are, you can see from where you are. You can see the road to Aftoki, but you cannot see Aftoki.
Knock on the door.
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah, come in.
Can you walk in? Close the door behind me.
How did it go?
Yeah, I don't think she's working with a God King. I didn't ask her specifically about her mark or anything, but I didn't get that impression.
If if I'm understanding things correctly and it is true, then seems like the God King has potentially asked a Godden for aid. And if they have as well, then they're, I don't know. They're not friends, that's for sure. I don't know if I believe that is actually what's happening here, but if Brother Sykes is right, then no, I don't think she is either. What about your armor, is what I meant.
Don't know. I talked to her. I mean, I actually talked to her.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time I did that was. I think she might have some ideas. Seems very intelligent.
Good. I'm glad. Glad she wants to help.
I don't think I should get her involved.
I don't think that's your choice to make.
Yeah, but she doesn't know who I am, Varsha.
She knows you wear armor of the God King. You said yourself she's very smart. I'm sure she understands the nature of the risk.
There's a lot of soldiers that are sworn. Not many have killed as many as I have.
That doesn't mean you don't deserve to be helped.
Doesn't it?
No.
Doesn't feel like it should be.
Well, you're wrong.
Regardless, it won't happen, until we get everything sorted. We have a job to do.
Do you really think there's a point where we're unsavable? Is it a magical number? Yes. People in general. Is it 20?
Varsha, I keep those names. Put them in the book. To make myself remember. I remember the voices that I hear all the time. Otherwise, I would forget. I would forget what each voice sounds like, who they were, who they are. I don't know if there's a number, but I know inside I don't remember the moment. There was a moment at some point when I didn't understand anymore. And it just became a habit. Became something I had to do. So I can't tell you if there's a number. But I remember the difference. And I don't know if I deserve to never hear these voices again. To have this armor. But you, Ty and Jet, being with you all, it at least made me think about keeping my options open. Maybe someday.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard you say that.
I don't think I'm really very good with words, but you, I think you inspire that in people. You made two killers like Ty and myself think about something different.
What if I'm wrong?
We're all wrong sometimes. The only thing you can do is keep moving forward. Everything can be fixed. Hopefully I can too.
Smile. With a little bit of help. Yes. Everything can be fixed.
Just keep an eye out. You know the drill.
Yeah. Are you there? Hmm?
You hear, as you say, are you there? Elven and Dwarven as well as common, in a trifecta of the languages that you speak.
Yes.
Do I understand what these voices are saying?
You do not.
Okay.
They're saying the same thing that this voice is saying in common.
Okay. What I'm here?
I hear you. I didn't expect you to reach out to me. What can I do? What can we do?
Can you help me?
Of course. With what? Before you speak, just know that you don't need us to do it. You understand? There is something within you that has been very noticeable amongst me. You stand out. You know who else could stand out? The one with the beard of kelp. The one who has mountains thrown across the sky. Also, the one who created time themselves.
What are you saying?
You have potential. It's up to you. If this is something you want, we can urge you, I can urge you to take this offer and be a part of the sky. But I'm uncertain if you...
And at this moment, you hear a large clatter coming from outside.
Do I need to be able to see? No. Choose a door, window, or an area within range. Okay. I immediately cast alarm on the stairs, on the stairwell leading up. I do not want this conversation to end, but I forgot to do that before I asked, and that is what Smith said right before he left. You know the drill. So I immediately cast that. It does say that I can choose to exclude certain creatures and designate specifically. So I'm going to say like malicious intent individuals coming up. Anybody that's not our crew. Is the clattering beyond that point?
The clattering is beyond that point. It is
Like it hasn't crossed it yet? Or it's now on our platform?
It is. Make me an investigation as you listen and then try to think about the forensics of this sound, where it exactly could be.
Okay. May I argue you perception? Just because
Sure,
my
yeah.
investigation is fucking terrible. 15.
You could tell it's beyond, outside, down the road.
Okay.
But you heard it for a moment, as if it was right next to you.
Oh,
Enough to
Okay.
interrupt this conversation.
yeah. I listen in on what's happening outside then. Because the way I interpret that to mean if I heard it as if it was right next to me, they are coming this way. And I have like maybe 2 minutes. That's how I interpret that. But I would like to listen or look out the window and see what it is.
Give me an Arcana check as
Yeah.
you try to tap into the Spellwind and listen in to any reverberations.
I'll use my inspiration.
All right.
16.
With a 16, you are able to, for a moment, listen, close your eyes. You almost feel that feeling you felt before when you were speaking with this voice, whatever it may be. But it quickly diminishes, but you do feel that the activity that created this is moving away from you. With a 16, say about 30 feet from beyond your door, toward town.
I detect magic.
Okay. What does that look like when you detect magic?
Oh, I hate it actually because it's a spell I learned from the Sworn. So, but I think it might look different now, and I might be surprised by that later when I think about it later.
Okay.
Right now, I don't care, but
Okay.
instead of the standard green, strange webbing that probably kind of just sort of rises up from the ground. Almost it's like ethereal, and then it becomes more solid to me as I'm cast, and it's like ley lines that I follow towards the magic.
Okay.
And they rise up from the ground.
it's
And
like-
they're normally green and kind of have this weird, almost poisonous looking nature to them, but now they're kind of switched and they're purple now for me, but it's still the same old ley lines.
Yeah.
And basically one will stand out to me, and then I kind of like pick it up like it's a thread, and I'll follow it
Arcana
mentally. Yeah, sort of.
Hey, give me an Arcana here as you
Sure.
as you sort of feel the webbing of.
11.
I'll give you inspiration
Okay.
or advantage because this is fucking cool. All right, 11. It's all right. So as you go to pick it up, you do feel, and you close your eyes and you try to, I guess, this mapped out grid of arcane energy as you try to then feel as if it was some sort of arcane spider web where vibrations of disturbance would be.
Yeah.
Nothing in the vicinity.
You said 30 feet, and my limit is 30 feet, so I imagine it was right there, and I just didn't get there in time. Question.
Answer.
Does it feel... The tree, when I was younger, felt a certain way, and it feels the same way this voice feels to me, but the queen felt a certain way. What does this feel like? Does this feel familiar or different? I'm trying to figure out if each
Yeah.
one of these beings has its own like signature or feeling
Right.
or smell. What do I smell?
See.
I don't know
Okay.
if you can feel the specifics of this.
Okay.
I think because of the conversation you were having, right? This
Mm-hmm.
interesting conversation inside your mind or in whatever, in this reality space, this voice was there, and then whatever it was enough for it to interrupt your conversation with whatever this
And
voice
then it
may
was
be.
gone.
And then it
Yeah.
was gone. Whether or not it was, I'll give this to you, whether or not you were supposed to hear it and you weren't close by and you still heard it as if that was been granted to you,
Yeah.
or whether, yeah, I think that's it.
Something's trying to stop me from having this conversation? Okay.
Yeah, either something's trying to stop you from having this conversation or something wants you to know that something happened.
Okay.
You're getting both of those feelings of
Okay.
it's this which one was it?
Okay.
You were
I
supposed
will...
to be alerted and you were supposed to be interrupted, but you're not sure which one is more
Was-
important or which
yeah.
one it is. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will immediately go knock on Ty's door.
Ty, you hear a knocking. I'm not sure if you're asleep or not.
Even if he was, I think he's pretty light sleeper.
Also pretty drunk.
Door opens. I'm
Okay.
fully dressed and clearly wasn't sleeping.
I think I heard something outside. Will you come with me?
Heard something like what?
I don't think we have a lot of time. Will you come with me or not?
I'm already pushing
Walking
past
out.
you and
Yeah,
heading
okay. Yeah,
that
all right.
direction. Yeah.
I did it. And we're walking towards where I'm leading him to where. Yeah,
Leading,
okay.
You open up
Yep.
the front door.
Yeah.
I think, Jet, you wake up as you hear a familiar jingle as your bottles rattle
Oh,
by the
yeah.
door.
Huh?
You sort of stew and make your way toward the door, and the door is open, and Varsha and Ty are sort of already on their way on the exterior, walking somewhere else.
I suppose I follow them. I guess I'm trying to stealth. I don't know. I'm just I don't know where they are going. I'm maybe
Okay.
tired. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to
you're tired and just, I guess I'm gonna
Right.
stealth. This seems right.
right. So I'm just. Can I make a stealth check? I don't
course
know.
you can.
Just to. Hey, 5.
The 5. Yeah, I think you're like, I should probably be stealthy. And then you sort of slump over for a moment and sort of catch yourself. You trip on your feet. You do make a scuffing sound that I think both Ty and Varsha sort of, you turn around. I think you're both in that high alert mode. And you look back and see a tired Jet trying to come to his feet.
I just kind of wave and point kind of outside to the general direction of where we're going, and I, just tap my ear, like we heard something. And then I turn to Ty because I know I don't have too much time to tell him this. I reached out and something answered. I don't know if I'm losing my mind or what. What?
I don't know. I wouldn't trust that if I was you.
Varsha,
What was that?
you heard that.
Where are you two going?
What was that?
Maybe I didn't hear that.
Only Varsha heard that.
I will
what?
slowly move towards it. You didn't hear that? It sounded like someone hurt.
As if something was pulling you, Varsha.
Oh,
Whether it is
God.
some sort of, whether it's the breeze pushing your steps, or whether it is some sort of divine tug, you make your way toward a building with a large crest on the front door.
Where are
there is a blue seal projected onto this, or I'm sorry, carved into this this door.
I nod at the door. Same thing from before in the caves is leading me here. Do you recognize this?
Me?
Yeah, I look at both of you.
No? I don't know what's going on.
I open the door.
I prepare fairy fire.
The door is locked.
Okay, I knock on the door.
There is no answer.
What does the symbol look like?
It is a symbol of a blue seal breaching the water, or just, I think there's like a large wave cresting over some rocks. And then there is in the foreground is this blue seal in like sort of a C shape, like it's got the tail in the front and then it wraps around towards the top in that, like a horseshoe crescent. I guess what you would see is the shaping or the silhouette of the seal would be a crescent moon, as it sort of looks like it's a happy seal with its nose in the air with water spraying from behind on the rocky cliff.
I'd be creeping up on the group.
Oh, okay. As your super light sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm preoccupied with this door, or at least the voice that I thought I heard as well.
Uh-huh.
And I think I'm moving around this building to see if there's anything
Out of place.
else. Like, yeah, like I feel like I was led here, but I don't feel satisfied with just finding the door. Like I think I'm getting a little bit more agitated or just kind of
Give me an investigation.
anxious. Yeah.
Is this the same seal that was on Celery's door?
It is. You've been here before.
Is this Celery's house?
This is Celery's house.
So
Why are we here?
I'm creeping up basically behind the group and I say, "What are you doing here?"
I don't know.
What's going on?
I've no idea.
I walk back up to them. I don't know. This is important, and I'm feeling anxious, like someone's in trouble, maybe.
This is Celery's house. I'm gonna rush forward to the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna force it open.
Okay. Give me an athletics
I will help.
with advantage.
I will step back.
Good call.
I
You
run
thud.
my shoulder into it.
You thud into the door. A large clash is thunders down the street as your armored shoulder runs into the door. It doesn't seem to budge.
I
I
start
look-
banging on it.
I look to Ty. Can you find a way in?
I'll fucking shoot a death glare at the two of them and then reach into my pocket for some lockpicks.
Banging on the door.
Yeah. Okay.
She's already tried that. Genius.
All right. You're gonna try to squeeze by Smith to crack a lock.
Not if they don't move out of the way.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I'm just
Oh, I
standing
move out of
there
the way.
looking at them flabbergasted.
I move out of the way. He's absolutely right. We were not thinking.
Yeah. I look a bit wild-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him try.
You I think you
It's a 9.
Yeah, it's a 9. The tools go into the keyhole. You go to fiddle it, and it could be you're tired. It could be the pressure. It could also be Smith that's been knocking this whole time bumps into you, but you do snap the tool.
Is there an open window or something nearby? Something small, ajar?
Give me a perception or an investigation as you investigate.
Investigation. 17.
There's a broken window.
There's a broken window.
Ground floor or up?
Second floor.
Is it small enough for a person to go through?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I
put
climb
away my
Assassin's
vial.
Creed style?
You
Of
may
curiosity.
climb Assassin's Creed style.
Like,
There's a window over there. It's broken. I don't know
I'm
why.
doing it. Start doing the thing.
Yep.
You jump between the things.
You find all the perfect handholds. You get
Be
up there.
careful.
Yeah.
You stop for a moment and let the eagle fly around you so you can get the whole map of the area.
Yeah.
And then, all right, perfect.
I crawl in, but I'm crawling in and looking around because I'm assuming that someone
Yeah.
broke in.
Yeah, you crawl in, you move some of the loose glass. You've noticed there's glass on the sill, on the exterior of the house. You go inside, there is no glass on the floor.
Out.
Um,
Interesting.
there
I don't
is
know
a
this yet.
there is a candle that's lit. Everything else, it does smell like candle smoke in the air, as if maybe some candles were blown out. But there is one candle on a candelabra still lit, and it is just enough for you to see a lifeless body of Celery face down.
Is everything okay up there?
Hi.
Oh, Vasha, you have that potion to fly, by the way.
Hey, that was great! And I don't know where this music's coming from. So, oh, there it is. Shit. So that was that. How do you like Blue Falls so far, huh?
Too scary. It should be Red Falls, man. It's a murder mystery now.
Smith can never be happy.
Smith
I
can never
know.
be happy.
Poor Smith.
I'm so sorry. As the scenes were going on, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh no. But that was a lot of fun. I really enjoy all of your theories about Blue Falls and the discussions you've had and such. That was really, really cool. So we're going to go around and shout ourselves out, go around and stuff and talk about all of it and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's start it off with Meyer.
Hello, my name is Meyer. I'm currently role-playing someone who's good at shout-outs and confident at them. You can find me at twitch.tv/Meyer. You can find me at twitter.com/Meyer_test. Today was really great, wasn't it, cast? Sorry.
So
well,
good.
that's
You're
my
doing
shout-out.
great.
You're doing great.
But yeah, that was really cool. That was a lot of fun. A lot of like newer interpersonal kind of like conflict there was like kind of interesting, you know, like with Varsha and her choice and like, you know, Jet kind of feeling hopeless about the whole thing. And now, you know, like obviously it's going to be a lot to unpack next week, that's for sure, as it goes on. I'm really, really, really excited to see what happens, you know. But yeah, that was me. You can find me on my channel that I just mentioned and shouted out when I was confident. And yeah, I'll be at MCM this weekend doing a thing. So if anybody's in London going to that convention, look out for What's My Line as a thing that's happening.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, I do roleplay stuff on my channel. Red Dead Redemption 2 stuff, Star Citizen stuff. It's currently a free week in SC. We've gotten some role players from like the Red Dead community now playing SC as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, like check it out. Looking forward to next week.
Thank you so much, Meyer. Everybody go check out Meyer. He's awesome. He's also in Kingmakers as well on Tuesdays, and he's awesome.
That's right.
Go check him out. Speaking of unpacking, Whack Smith.
Hey everybody, I'm Wax Steven. I played Smith for you today. Normally I am the DM or GM of Doom. And yeah, this motherfucker right here ruined the only glimmer of happiness.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
This motherfucker. Yeah, that was a great episode, dude. I really loved the whole place. I thought it was really cool. I thought that the idea behind it was great. I loved the characters that were here so much.
Yes.
It was a good follow-up to Aftoki. It was just a really cool transition to come to this place. I thought it was really great.
Nice contrast as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And seeing I guess, its geography and where it is in relation to the sort of like edge of the empire kind of location. Being
Whack,
able
who cares about that? The waterfall goes backwards.
Well, my point is like
It falls right. It just
like,
goes up first.
the paranoia that Jet was feeling because I think of the location, but I wasn't sure.
Close to home, Like
we're getting
I was just
closer.
gonna say,
White
like
stars.
the idea of the anxiety rising the closer we get back to the Empire was very well done. Very well done.
It was just really good all around. I really liked it a lot. Good job. If you like the things that I do and you want to check out the things that I do, you can join us on Fridays here for Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is very, very close to the end. We probably only have a few episodes left. Last episode was epic, and it was so good, and gotten to do some really cool things near the end of the show. And if you haven't checked that out, it's a good time to start. It's one of our longest shows that we've done, but I've really been proud of it. It's been really good. Check that out. I'm also designing my own TTRPG, which you can check out sometimes on my channel. I don't know how much more of it I can stream, because we're getting into the territory where it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't stream that stuff, and then it's an awkward spot. So we'll see how those streams are gonna go. But you can check out my channel. Otherwise, we're going to be running a shill show here on Table Story pretty soon. We haven't done one in like
ever
2
2 years.
years. Yeah, 2 years.
It's been like 2 years, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to do one of those soon.
Is August Alliance the last one?
What's a shill show?
No, I think it was the Chaos Demons one we did a long fucking time ago.
Are
man.
you proficient with that? One of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
a shill
That's
show?
dope.
So shill show
What's
is
the
Table
shill
Story
show?
just shilling blatantly for cash.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
To help keep the lights on. So we're going to do one of those soon. So keep an eye out. That's probably going to be scheduled in the next few weeks. So make sure to keep an eye out. Otherwise, make sure you're following all these wonderful people and check out the Spellwind Patreon, which is patreon.com/Spellwind. Check that out, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Wack. BB?
Hi, I am Varsha, and I exist for 3 hours every week, and I am so excited to figure out if I am,
If you exist.
What's happening?
if I exist. Yeah, and if I'm like, I mean, I feel like I am naive, and maybe egocentric enough to believe that if this is real, I can be benevolent.
Right.
It should be fine. Like, I could be good. Surely there are some good ones out there. It can't all be bad, right?
Uh-huh.
It should be easy, right? Just
She's
So
hired to
what
be
every
Shiva.
god
What she's
said.
doing.
you know, like I know how to garden. Just rip out the bad root, and then you're good to go,
That's
right?
it.
It should be fine. It's easy, and it's no big deal. Root rot and good. You're gone. All right. Goodbye, God King. Anyway, you could go check out Pumpkinberry if you want. It's to Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry, or you could just watch Kingmakers on Tuesday, because it's fucking awesome.
It is.
And I can say that because I'm Varsha, not Pumpkinberry.
That's
so
right.
fucking go watch it.
That's right.
And then she's gonna go
Fucking awesome.
puke
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
afterwards.
Immediately.
Dude, when Jet compared me to the God King, I felt sick in my stomach. I was like, I gotta get up and go walk away so I
gotta
don't
leave.
barf. Yeah, I gotta go.
Jet has done emotional damage. It was super effective.
Every once in a while, Jet hits those lines where it's like, oh, ah,
Yeah,
ow.
I feel physically
Yeah.
ill.
Yeah. Well done. Well
Hey,
done,
thank
everybody.
you.
And Brad.
Hello. I'm Brad. I don't exist either. And that's about it, really. This was great. Thank you so much for watching.
Everybody go check out Brad on twitch.tv/BradWodo. I'll check out his Twitter as well. He does some awesome shit. He's a really great role player. He's been doing some wild RP stuff as well. So just go fucking check it out. Also, if you're on YouTube and watching this, go watch some of his shows as well because they're so good. Really inspirational. Do it. So yeah, and as for me, hi everybody, I'm enigmatic. I GM'd today and created Spellwind. So if you want to go ahead and support me, you can on Twitter. You could also support me on Twitch. And you could also support me on patreon.com/Spellwind. We have a couple of cool things ready for some cool patron things soon. So that's exciting. And yeah, I'm going to try to do more on that. And yeah, so this was Blue Falls. I had a lot of fun, sort of everything hitting me yesterday while I was like writing like crazy. I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited for next week, and I'm really excited to see how the party deals with it and sees what happens. I'm super sorry, Smith. It was planned from the start.
Dude,
And,
fuck.
and as soon as those
Get
scenes were happening,
fucked.
I was like, yikes, I can't really back out of this now because this is going to be that much more better. Anyway, so thank you for sacrificing your emotions, Smith, to the story. But yeah, and thank you everybody for being here and watching. I think next we'll have Rhyme with the Frost Maiden on Fridays, and we'll see you then at 5 p.m. And as for that, that's it. Does anyone else say anything? No? Okay, great. Perfect.
We love you. Bye.
We love you. Bye, everyone. For the music to stop. Perfect.